Welcome to Anglia Sports Special from Portman Road. It's cup football with the added spice of a local derby. Ipswich Town versus Cambridge United, second round, first leg of the Coca-Cola Cup with Wembley in the distance. For the last time these two neighbours met here at Portman Road was 22 months ago. It was a promotion battle in the old second division, which Cambridge won, Gary Rowett scoring their first goal. It wasn't much of a game to remember for Ipswich that day, despite Mickey Stockwell's equaliser, although it did all come right in the end because they went on to win the championship and promotion. But on this occasion, it was a Cambridge United triumph. Steve Claridge's winner took them to the top of the table in search of a place in the Premier League themselves. Well, today Steve Claridge and Cambridge are rebuilding after relegation last season, so from being very close, these two clubs are leagues apart. For Ipswich, this is a golden opportunity to rebuild a bit of form and confidence after 3 defeats and 2 draws in the last 5 games. 3 changes from the side which lost here to Aston Villa, 2 of them through illness and injury. But as Cambridge are the first to admit, there are players out here who could really take them apart if they're allowed to play. With Ian Marshall, a really big threat up front, a record signing who's produced a goal a game so far. But he'll have a new partner up front tonight. Boncho Genchev takes over from the injured Chris Kiwomya. Cambridge under Gary Johnson in the second division now are developing a new style, 3 at the back with the fullbacks pushing up. Erratic results so far, but 2 good wins in the last 2 games, although Gary Rowett, one of the goal scorers at Bournemouth last weekend, is replaced here by Andy Fenson because of injury. New signings include Andy Jeffrey and Dean Barrick, but nobody has looked forward to this one more than Michael Cheetham. Spotted by Bobby Robson, he bought himself out of the army to join Ipswich, didn't get much of a chance here before moving to Cambridge. This is very much the big one for him after a lot of injury problems. The referee tonight is Paul Alcock from Red Hill, Surrey. So 2 neighbours with impressive cup records, particularly in this competition. Just behind them, they come head-to-head in this second round. Premier League, Ipswich Town with a point or 2 to prove about their own form. Most of the advantages here. John Walk looks as if he's going to be playing at the back. Cambridge, small resources, already a heavy injury list, but they've always had a very strong taste for giant killing. Well, alongside me tonight, John Dean, assistant manager for Norwich City and a former Ipswich Town player, of course. John, how do you think it'll go tonight? Well,
I'm looking forward to the game immensely. Obviously, we've got the excitement of a local derby and the local Suffolk derby, added to with the cut and thrust of cup football. It'll be interesting to see the contrasting styles of play. Ipswich with the 4-4-2 that served them so well so far this season, and that in comparison to Cambridge, who have been playing the sweeper system in the last couple of games. It'll be interesting to see if they can soak up the pressure early on. I can see there being big problems for them though if they don't contend with Neil Thompson, the left back. If they're going to allow him a lot of space, he's a very good player.
Barrick there, who's playing as one of the attacking wing backs that Gary Johnson's brought in, but for the moment he's going to be back in a defensive role, surely. Steve Whitton has been brought in on the right-hand side. Simon Milton is in because of illness to Palmer, and John Walk has replaced Phil Whelan. That's Barrick's big left foot. Just at the moment, there's only Michael Cheetham up here left on his own. The idea, according to Gary Johnson, is just hold them off for a bit and then try and do a bit of attacking. Barrick getting in there with Whitton. Chase across by Liam Daish. Forward by Stockwell. So Walk in a more accustomed role these days, the back of defence. He's had a couple of games in midfield and he's admitted himself he's found it hard. Claridge, a strong tackle there by Walk. Liam Daish, the big one forward. Up goes Linnigan. Up on. Mason through the middle. And here's Marshall. Great save by Phelan. Mason, good pass through the middle, and the power of Marshall and the speed of him there, very much in evidence. And Phelan's in trouble. It's gone straight in. Simon Milton has put one in from a huge distance. We were all expecting a cross, including goalkeeper John Phelan, and it goes in off the far post. 1-0 to Ipswich. Milton, I think, looking for the cross, and he goes.
He's definitely looking for Andy Marshall there. Phelan's crept out a little bit, looking to come and catch the cross, take a bit of pressure off his back four. You've got to say it's very unfortunate. It's come off the side of Simon Milton's boot and gone straight in.
Despair for Phelan, a smile for Simon Milton, because he's put Ipswich in the lead in the first 3 minutes. This is Jeffrey getting in the way. He's not the biggest of players for a central defender. That's why he's used in the sweeper or support role. This is Thompson forcing his way forward. Jeffrey's in there well. Finnegan. Thompson again looking comfortable on the ball. But Marshall's going to have to run a bit to get anywhere near that one. He's done well to pinch it off Jeffrey. A little bit of inexperience. And then he gets it back again, but Thompson's in there again with Mason. And Thompson's in there beautifully. Phelan coming to it. Good judgment.
And good interchange play by Ipswich there. Nice little bit of a 1-2 between Thompson and Gunchev.
And the goalkeeper who...
Grant Williams, actually. I thought he was going to get onto it, but pace let him down a bit there, Tomo. He'll be disappointed with that.
Is Claridge. Butler going forward. Claridge is going on his own. It's a good curler. Oh, very much like the goal he scored against the Bournemouth in midweek with the left foot as well. Not very far away there, John.
I like Claridge a lot. You know, I watched him before he went to Luton for a short spell. He's played under different managers, and you feel he's a live wire. Anything can happen when he gets hold of the ball. He's unlucky not to score there.
Clayton got hold of that. So Clayton, Fowler and Fenton, who's pushed up in the middle, just getting into the game slightly in midfield for Cambridge, but a lot of spaces and a lot of good balls coming forward to Marshall and Genchev. On by Williams. Fenton to Cheetham. Cutting in, still looking for match fitness, but a bit of free kick there. Danny O'Shea is pushed up on the right-hand side. Liam Daesh on the left-hand side. Obviously a lot of players in the centre. Going for Danny O'Shea, but it wasn't well hit. Thompson gets it away. This is O'Shea. A little bit more confidence coming into the Cambridge game. Bad blow for them to concede so early as Butler turns. Knocked away by Williams. Calls for offside, not given. Jeffrey back in as Ipswich push up. Clayton wins it well. Claridge, Butler, nice combination, just a little bit too strong. This is a good spell by Cambridge United. Claridge against Linnigan. Looking for Cheetham. Claridge gets one in. Butler. And just too strong for him and knocked away by Stockwell, but only just. Cambridge looking more and more confident as Barrett gets it in. Butler going for this and can't get there. Good play though.
There's some super play there from Cambridge. And got a lot of respect there for Gary Johnson. Obviously done a lot of work with the team early part of the season. He's got them passing and playing football, and that was as good as anything you see in the Premier League there.
Fowler does well to get it wide to the marauding Dean Barrick. Looking for Butler. That's a good strong ball, but against Walker and Linnigan there's no real chance. He's working so hard, Steve Butler. And that's a massive throw from Forrest. As Barrett beats Whitton. pinging around a little bit in midfield. Who's going to bring it down and play it around? O'Shea looking for Butler. Not quite accurate enough. Walk didn't really get a clean header, but it's Milton picking up. Well, they've got players, Ipswich, but they haven't got pattern at the moment, and it's Cambridge who are winning quite a few more battles in midfield, where in the first 5 or 6 minutes or so they didn't look too impressive. Now they look much better. And that early smile of Simon Milton's has disappeared for the moment. Cheetham turning well. Butler's the far man, too strong for him. Linnigan gets it away well. Genchev holds it up neatly, but robbed by O'Shea. But they can't keep and hold possession long enough, Cambridge United. Marshall now chasing here. He's a powerful figure and a quick one. Jeffrey was caught out for pace and power.
He was caught out exactly for pace. The lad thought he was getting to the ball and he was going to tackle it. I'll be a bit disappointed if the referee elects to book him there. He was going away from goal. He genuinely thought he was going to get the ball. It's just an unfortunate tackle.
And a little bit of inexperience probably. Marshall's a big, awkward-looking fellow, but as everybody said at Oldham, he's very, very quick. Well, we've got Linnigan up over the far side. Obviously, Whitton's a powerful man in the air too.
This could be offside here if they're not careful.
Linnigan now powering in from the back. It's just flicked away. So now it's Cambridge having to mark up again, but this time for a throw-in. Paul Mason to take it. Nobody coming too near to help him. This is for Whitton, leaving him with quite a bit of room. In goes Marshall. Oh, he didn't get a contact, and just as well for Cambridge United and John Filan. Walk just holding off Butler, knowing full well that Linnigan was behind him. Back pass was accurate enough. And a good ball from Simon Milton puts Stockwell through and into the danger area. Stockwell going well there. He might have a go. Stockwell going for the return and just stabbed at the shot. What a great run.
What a positive player he is. I was fortunate enough to be at Ipswich when Mickey was here. He's a great club man, works particularly hard, real great team member, and that was a real positive run, wasn't it? Straight at the heart of the defence. What's my options? What's my options? Waiting. Eventually sees the 1-2, plays it, gets back into the hole. It's a little bit behind him, and it's just not quite in his stride, or has probably scored.
Butler challenging here with Linnigan. Linnigan holds his ground well. Genchev finding Mason. Well, that's not a particularly good pass. It's picked up by the lively Cheetham. There's no real support on his left yet, so he has to come back into a packed midfield and right-hand side. Almost loses it. Danny O'Shea. Clayton, Ipswich getting back and marking well. Williams under pressure from Gary Clayton. It's not a particularly good clearance. Fensham picking out Butler. John Walk cutting it out superbly. Genchev. And that was a hard one for Marshall. But it's a back pass with no threat. Not a desperately good kick off the ground by Filan, and it's Ipswich coming back again with Stockwell certainly getting forward more in the last stages of this first half, and Steve Whitton looking here for Genchev. And Genchev in again when he thought he'd lost it, and indeed should have lost it, and somehow I think off Danny O'Shea that came back into the danger area when really it should have been cleared. Surprised to get a second attempt at this, John?
Well, I am really. I'm wondering what the centre half's trying to do, heading it straight up in the air. He's tried to head it back in at the last minute there, and it's dropped down at Gunchev's feet. If he was a little bit more aware, it could have been 2-0.
So Genchev takes up a position at the front of the box. Up goes Linnigan, beaten by Butler. And it's cleared well by Fowler. Well, not the greatest crowd here today, but it's a good one, an enthusiastic one, and if Cambridge can keep in the game, I'm sure there'll be a big one at the Abbey in a fortnight's time. Now Thompson getting forward again for Ipswich. Blocked by Clayton. Back in again with a cross. Genchev leaping, not too high though. Away by Fowler. Butler's come back to help. Stockwell's got it off him. Now Williams. That's good play. Pulled by Mason. Now here's Whitton. That was a good effort, and there was superb build up there by Ipswich Town. A snapshot by Steve Whitton had John Filan in trouble.
Yeah, Whitton very relaxed on the ball. Nice to see. Players not worried about taking possession of the ball in and around the box. Look, nice and relaxed, has a little look, tries to bend it in the corner and just misses the target. He'll be disappointed once you hit it like that and you don't pick the target out.
Butler down to Claridge. Haven't seen much of them in the last 10 minutes up front. But it's Danny O'Shea coming to support with Andy Fensham here. In for Claridge. Fensham, can he get a cross in? All right, he gets a corner. This is some encouragement for Cambridge United. With Liam Daish coming into the penalty area. Danny O'Shea is in there too. Really queuing up on the near post. Butler's now gone to the back of the area. Butler gets up. Oh, it's cleared off the line. And that was a cracking header by Liam Daish. It came beyond Butler and Daish came in strongly on it. And this is a powerful one. And that's off the line by Stockwell and Forrest between them.
Very hard to pick up. Lots of movement before the ball's been delivered.
Not such a good delivery that time, but it's still Cambridge United. Well, Barrick's got a powerful shot with his left foot, but it wasn't on target, so the danger is over.
Yeah, Barrick and Fensham have produced good balls into feet in the box towards Claridge and in towards Cheetham and Butler.
So we're 1 minute into time added on, but not a division of two leagues in the performance so far in this first half, John.
No, not at all, actually. I was expecting in the first minute when Simon Milton scored this could be a turkey shoot here tonight, but Cambridge have provided terrific opposition and played very, very well, and very unfortunate not to be on level terms to go in at half-time.
But it's Simon Milton coming back again, and time added on, and Mason takes over from him. Mason's got a bit of pace here, and it was young Jeffrey who robbed him. 21-year-old doing a great job. It's the 8th corner. They're going to have time to take it if they get a move on, but Jeffrey did a good job as Paul Mason broke forward there. Thompson again, once again Marshall and Whitton on the near post. Linnigan coming in on it and knocked out by the captain Danny O'Shea as a referee Paul Alcott blows for the end of the first half. Well, it was a shock start for both sides as Simon Milton really deceived the goalkeeper John Filan with that shot from the right hand side that went in off the post. Simon Milton delighted to be able to put Ipswich in the lead after their fairly dodgy form in the last couple of weeks. But gradually it was Cambridge United who came batting into the game. They played some excellent football. They haven't really tested goalkeeper Forrest too much until the last few minutes when Liam Daish had that powerful header cleared off the line by Stockwell. So the game is still very much in the balance, but at half-time here, it's Ipswich 1, Cambridge United 0. Welcome back to Portman Road. Simon Milton's 3rd minute goal divides the two sides in this Coca-Cola Cup second round first leg. The only other times, as we've just learnt, these two sides met in the League Cup when Cambridge United won by 1-0 at the Abbey Stadium. David Crown the scorer. John Dean was in the Ipswich side. But John, you're in a safer position up here. But what do you say about the possible tactics for either of the two teams this second half?
Well, I think Gary Johnson's got to decide what his priority is. And for me, I'd have to say, well, I want the game still to be alive when we go back to Abbey Stadium. So I'd be telling the lads more of the same. Buckle down the hatches. Let's try and not concede. And if the opportunity comes along to score, let's see if we can take it.
And there's a problem here for Dean Barrick, who are bringing down Simon Milton, and referee Paul Alcock booking him, and referees had a problem at half-time because one of the floodlights here at Portman Road is having a bit of a problem. It's overloaded apparently, and he's already warned both teams that if he has problems with those lights, then he might have to stop the game. But so far, the lights shine brightly. Now, Thompson over that far side. Now, Cheetham waiting for a little bit of support. He's attacking Stockwell, and then he's got some pace here, Cheetham. That's not a bad effort. Just a little bit too strong, and the pursuing Steve Claridge can't get there. Good pace, though. If you can outstrip Mick Stockwell, you've got a bit of pace.
I'll tell you what, Mickey Stockwell's got the afterburner, and he can turn it when he wants. And that's a good show of pace there to go past him. And just shows you there's only John Walk with his pace who was able to get back in the middle and defend it.
I don't know whether Liam Dacier's got wind of the fact that the lights aren't too good, but is he asking, is there a conversation about the lights? Well, we can only guess from this distance what the referee, Paul Alcock from Surrey, is deciding here. Well, that's definitely gone now, no doubt about it. And it's a very, very gloomy in that far corner, and there's overloading, and there's a discussion here between linesman and referee Carl Finch from Bury St Edmunds and the match referee, trying to work out what they should do next. And certainly the lights,
he's going to play on,
deteriorated, but he's going to play on for the moment. A desperately good kick from Phelan. Marshall legging it. It's a foul. Well, the challenge was a reasonable one, but unfortunately he didn't get the ball. He got the man, and he's also going to get a booking. They're beginning to add up now. The second yellow card for Cambridge United. He had a pretty awful record last season, 77 bookings and 6 sendings off, but this is a different era, and they're very much dedicated to improving their disciplinary record.
This is direct. I think Thompson will be having a go here.
Thompson, good drive.
It's a great strike of the ball. It's gone across the face of the goal. I think Phelan always had it covered. The trouble is, of course, if it just gets a touch in front of him, no one close enough to it, though. It's safely going through the gap, and he knows it's wide.
A lot of long, hopeful balls coming from Cambridge at the back, and they're not really picking out their midfield players. That's some challenge,
That's a bad challenge. You know, to be fair, he's booked 2 of the Cambridge lads for nothing there. I think Grant's gone in very firmly there. I'm surprised he hasn't booked him.
Put out by David Linnigan. Williams gets back into a marking position on the edge of the area. Now, Danny O'Shea. Nice one to Claridge. On the right-hand side is Fensham. That's a hard one, though. Mason does well. Genchev is the only player right up front, but now they're pushing forward in numbers. This is Steve Whitton. Stockwell ahead of him. Genchev right over the far side. This is Genchev here.
Developed a good situation there, didn't they? Had 2 against 1 in the middle. Whitton's delivered the ball well. Here we can see the delivery. Ian Marshall makes the near post run, takes the defender with him. It's just a little bit behind Gunchev, and he tries to just tries to turn it round the corner into the other top corner, and he can't quite do enough. I wonder whether he should have took a volley.
Milton, a giveaway, but Cambridge can't do much with it either, so it's a little bit scrappy at the moment.
It is scrappy, Jerry. I think Cambridge have got to get back to what they were doing in the first 20 minutes of the game, when they were getting throw-ins and free kicks. They were getting on with it nice and sharply and showing lots of movement to keep good possession of the ball. At the moment, it's everything straight and into feet on the throw-ins, and it's just hitting the hope into the foot strikers in general play.
And Ipswich are looking better here. Now Mason with a good right foot. Oh, it's Thompson with a good left foot now. Well, not perhaps the cross that was ideal, but O'Shea was in there to cover it.
No, he'll be disappointed with that one. Look, he's got a lovely position there to pick out anybody. Even if he puts lots of pace on it, he might get an own goal, but it's a poor cross to hit the first defender.
Mason's corner. Fowler away, but again, not many of his passes find a colleague. Simon Milton out on the left-hand side. Marshall gets up well, but Filan gets up much better.
He looks a very accomplished goalkeeper, doesn't he, Jerry? He got up well off the floor to catch that. His quick movement of feet. Just watch his feet here. Move nice and quickly into position, a jump and a lovely catch.
But Cambridge not doing too much up this end. Marshall lets it run through his legs, and forward goes Steve Whitton. You can't give it to Genchev, I think he was offside. Forward goes Mason, and there's nothing to it. With a panic clearance by Filan. It's kept him well, though. Now, can Fensham pick out Cheetham? Little touch. Butler, Claridge. Can he get it wide on the left-hand side? He can. And there's a chance here for Barrack on his left foot. Well, he was the lad who scored on his debut for Sheffield Wednesday as a left winger. That looked as if it was a similar sort of situation, but he really didn't hit it too well.
No, you don't get these opportunities that often, and obviously with them being a away side here from a lower division, I'm sure he'd wished he'd have gambled a little bit more, maybe tried to aim at the far corner and put a bit more pace on the ball.
Ball all seemed to be bouncing away. It's not a good back pass, and there's trouble now as Claridge pushes forward. There's a foul there. The referee's whistle goes. Claridge's goal won't count. And that, I think, was a little bit fortunate for Ipswich.
It was a bad pass back from Mickey Stockwell. He didn't put enough pace on the ball. And, you know, we'll have to have another look there to see if it was a free kick. Craig Forrest. Oh, I think very lucky Ipswich there to get away with that one. The lad's only gone and closed the ball down. Craig really should have kicked through it and tried to clear it. Tried to sort the situation out afterwards there.
So was this a foul by Cheetham? Yes, according to the referee. No, according to Cambridge, as Claridge puts it in. But there's no goal, and it's still 1-0. Well, Ipswich could do with another goal to give them a little bit more comfort. Cambridge could do with a goal to bring them into the game more, and we could certainly do with a goal to bring more life to the match. Mason goes down the left-hand side with Thompson. That's completely wildly given away. A wasteful ball. Little touch from Claridge. Nicely done. Well retrieved. They're fighting harder for the ball now, Cambridge United. Claridge got himself into trouble unnecessarily. Fowler's chasing here, but they're outnumbered now, and Cambridge are spread wide. This is Marshall to Steve Whitton. Steve Whitton might have a pot shot here.
Oh,
what a strike that from Steve Whitton. 2-0, and it looked as if the whole of the Cambridge side opened up for him to see if he could do it, and he did.
They're having a big discussion down there on the pitch, the Cambridge players. They're not happy with the Claridge give the ball away needlessly, but it was even still said it was a magnificent strike from Whitton. He's travelled with the ball very well. As we said before, first half, strikes the ball well with either foot, and once it leaves its foot, it's not going anywhere else by the top corner.
Well, a great disappointment then for Cambridge. They give the ball away, and Whitton has a free pot shot from some distance out and beats Filan. It's 2-0. And 64 minutes of the game gone. Now it's Ipswich in control. And Steve Whitton brought into this side to a little width and striking power, has done exactly that. Danzy looks it back to Clayton, but it didn't work. Still a bit of despair and anxiety about Cambridge United's play through midfield. Not quite as good as they were in the first half. Unfortunate that one to go to an Ipswich player. Williams clears. It's Genchev with Marshall right over the far side. Support coming through the middle from Simon Milton and company, but Marshall's done a brilliant job here, showing his pace. Into the middle goes Genchev. Good combination between the little and large combination up front.
Yeah, that's right. Genchev picking out Marshall well there. I thought he might have elected to take the other option, but he didn't.
Well won by Steve Whitton. Stockwell on his own up here at the moment. Walk wins that one. Forward come Cambridge again, though. There's half a chance here for Fowler. And that was a definite opening for 18-year-old John Fowler.
That was the opportunity they've been working all the game to try and produce. It came a little bit of a lucky bounce on the edge of the box here when he's off the floor, but he's took it in. He's got to hit the target, and he's just dragged it past the post.
Cambridge still battling gallantly to try and close things down as fast as they can. Not easy as Ipswich knock it around. Stockwell wide on the left. Mason supporting him well. Just keep passing it, make the opposition run. Linnigan beaten by Claridge. Danzy on the right-hand side. This is Cheatham. Good run by Cheatham. Can he get a good cross in? Here's Claridge. Lets it run. And that was Barrack in there with a shot. 4 minutes to go before full time, and this is Stockwell getting away with a bounce. Unfortunately beat him. Player of the year last season, and you can understand why the supporters take to him so much.
Yeah, wholehearted player, isn't he?
Free kick there to Cambridge United.
I feel a bit sorry for Stevie Claridge at the moment. They've used both subs, Jerry, and he really looks as though he's labouring. He's got a real problem there with his calves.
In by Danny O'Shea. This is Claridge battling there and giving the linesman.
Don't think he was giving him his phone number anyway.
Claridge wide to Cheatham. Can he get the ball in properly? Oh, there's Nyama there with the right foot knocked back in, which didn't quite work. This is Jeffrey. Cambridge pushing forward for that goal that will make such a difference to them in the second leg. And here's Danzy, is offside. But in a hurry to keep the game moving. Good possibility here, but just a little bit over anxious, John.
I didn't think he was offside. I can't see where the linesman's picked Claridge out offside there. Andy Linnigan was always in the correct defensive position for me.
So more bad luck there for Cambridge. Ipswich leading by 2 goals, 1 in each half. Good bit of battling play by Fowler, but again not able to pick out a front man. And Ipswich close ranks in front of Craig Forrest. Well, on the official scoreboard, it's just a little bit more than 2 minutes left on the clock, plus stoppage time. Forward goes Gary Clayton. There's a chance here for Danzy. Danzy brought down.
He's given it.
It's a penalty. Well, there was a definite opening there. Clayton came forward very well. Out came the goalkeeper, and there could be worse here for Ipswich Town. Will he be sent off?
He's made contact. No, he won't send him off because he's going away from the target. It wasn't into a goal scoring. He was in a goal scoring position, but not a definite one. I would imagine if he does anything, it's got to be a yellow card. I'd be amazed if he sends him off here. There's no way it'll be red. Yeah, yellow card. He's going away from target, Gerald.
Okay, now it's Craig Forrest to face, I think, Steve Claridge. Normally, Steve Butler would take the penalty kicks, but Butler, of course, has been substituted. And now it's going to be Claridge who's limping, with a chance here to put Cambridge back into this 2-leg tie. He's got it.
Well, they deserve it, Jerry, don't they? The tie's really alive now. They've played well. Let's be fair to Gary Johnson as well.
I think a lot of people would have thought he was really gambling when he went away from his sweeper system there at the end, and it's paid its dividend.
Good penalty by Steve Claridge. He doesn't normally take them. He has missed a couple, hasn't had a chance this season, but that puts him up to 6 goals this season. And 2-1 here this tie at Portman Road.
Believe me, Jerry, the goalkeeper looks very big in them goals there, with only a minute left on the clock.
I can't believe that. But now it's Cambridge under pressure here as Ipswich look for another last-minute goal, indeed injury time goal, to restore the 2-goal lead. Their 10th corner is going to be Thompson, who puts the ball over now. We're into time added on in this second. Niama gets one away. They're in a desperate hurry themselves now. Ipswich, they might have let this one slip. They could pay the price. Perhaps not now, but in a fortnight's time. But now it's Kofi Niama on pursuit here. Claridge is up front. Oh, he runs into trouble needlessly. And that's a giveaway.
They had him outnumbered there for a minute.
Now, Williams. Steve Whitton. Marshall over the far side. Stockwell coming in. Forward goes Milton. Claridge is back defending. There's an injured Ipswich player in that penalty area.
Stockwell, who's gone down.
They're tumbling down all over the place here, but it's Cambridge who'll be finishing this tie with their tails up. And the referee holds the play up here for treatment. Stockwell's taking some knocks, but psychologically be feeling a little bit low after fighting, scrapping for a 2-goal lead. They concede a penalty in the closing seconds, and it's spoiled the night almost for Ipswich Town. But what can they get here as we move into the second minute of time added on? They're all piling forward, including John Walk. David Linnigan, of course, is in there. Oh, it's a good knockback. Walk! Oh, it hit the post and came out from Marshall.
Well, I don't know.
Walk, a beautiful save. And then Marshall should have put it in.
He should have scored, really.
Well, that was a let-off from Cambridge. What excitement in their closing seconds here.
He's the young lad. Let's see what you've got. Go on, take him on.
Well, it's not a bad ball to Michael Danzy. Can he keep it in? It's all happening here at Portman Road now. Williams knocking it out, but a 5th corner for Cambridge, and of course they're all coming forward. Can they equalise here? Danny O'Shea over the far side, good punch out, and a foul, I would have thought, on the goalkeeper. Indeed, the referee's whistle has gone. And Liam Daish is going to be in a bit of trouble here. Liam Daish has been booked already. Not quite sure what the dispute is here. Just a word to the big defender. We're into the 3rd minute of time added on now. And we've certainly had some drama and action in the closing seconds. And another substitution. Paul Goddard coming on for Mickey Stockwell. And will he get a touch in this game, I ask myself. Well won by Steve Whitton. And there indeed is the final whistle in the end. Ipswich Town looked to be easing away when Steve Whitton got that second goal. It put them into a comfortable 2-0 lead. But Cambridge refused to give up the fight, and when Michael Danzy was brought down by goalkeeper Craig Forrest, it was Claridge who stepped up with that 89th minute goal, which now gives Cambridge United a chance in the second leg. How would you sum it up, John?
I think the tie's really still alive. It's going to be a cracker down at the Abbey Stadium. Well played, Cambridge. I thought they deserved maybe even more than they got out the game. But on the reflection on chances created, a fair result possibly.
OK, let's join Stuart Jarrod on the touchline.
Two smiling faces, Steve Whitton and Simon Milton, set Ipswich on the way, but what an anxious final few moments for you.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be smiling in the dressing room when the manager has a go at us about the last goal that we conceded. 2-0 we're happy, but 2-1 they think they've got a great chance, and it makes our job all the more difficult when we go back to Cambridge.
But what a great start you gave Ipswich in the opening minutes.
Yeah, well, I saw the keeper off his line. No, to be honest, it's a cross really. It's one of those crosses that finds its way to the back of the net, and I was quite happy with it.
And Steve, when you put the second one away, you must have thought that was a good cushion for the second leg.
Yeah, well, it should have been really, but I think even after the first goal, we started to sit back a bit rather than keep going forward. And when the second one went in, we should have still kept pushing, and we could have got 2 or 3 more, I thought, but we sat back and let them get in with a chance at the end of the day.
OK, well, let's just introduce Steve Claridge, who's just joined us, the man who scored that last penalty in the dying moment for Cambridge, giving you a lot of hope for the second leg.
Yeah, certainly, like the lad said, 2-0, they were sitting pretty, but the 2-1, it makes it interesting for the home leg now.
The game very much alive for you back at the Abbey Stadium.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that goal's made all the difference for us, really.
Good, OK, thank you all three of you. Thank you.
If you look at Cambridge Cup tradition, they go along with a few others of knocking some excellent sides out of cup competitions, and this is their forte. And with respect, we've had Cambridge watched half a dozen times, and they've come on song of late as their results prove.
I was quite pleased with what we did, possession-wise. I mean, obviously you're going to come here and Ipswich are a great footballing side, and they had a bit of play and we had a bit of play. You know, it's a bit sort of even Stevens really. I would have thought even they would admit the first goal was a bit lucky sort of thing, a bit of a mis-hit cross, but you can't argue with the second goal.